So in today's video, I want to discuss with you selective breeding of shrimp. What is selective breeding? Why would we selectively breed shrimp and how do we go about doing it? Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm a fish and shrimp breeder based in the UK. So let's start off by answering the question, what is selective breeding? And as the name very much suggests, selective breeding is you, the shrimp keeper, selecting which of your shrimp you're going to allow to breed. Now in this tank here, there's 400 red cherry shrimp and it's a free-for-all. The males will breed with any females. The females will breed with any males. Apart from the fact that's a closed system, the shrimp can't go anywhere, I have no control over who breeds with who. Now non-selective breeding is not a problem. If you just want to keep a colony of red cherry shrimp and you want to enjoy that colony over the years and allow it to naturally grow and develop as it does, then this kind of a setup is absolutely fine. There is no need to try and interfere with the process. If, however, over time you wish to develop your colony so it has a particular trait, maybe a deeper, darker red, maybe you want to develop the stripe that often develops down the back, whatever it might be, to take your colony of several hundred shrimp and turn that into a colony that's particularly bright red or particularly has the stripe down the back, you need to essentially selectively breed your shrimp. Now for many years I have bred red cherry shrimp to sell. Essentially, as long as my breeding colonies were happy and healthy and of good quality, I didn't really take a great deal of time to worry about improving the colour. However, in recent years, I really have put some time and effort into making sure the red cherry shrimp I'm breeding are the best red cherry shrimp I can produce. Now, many of you will already be aware of the effects of selective breeding, even if you weren't aware you were aware. The chances are, when you went to purchase your original red cherry shrimp, or if you're looking to buy some now, you will know there are different grades of red cherry shrimp. And grades essentially mean how deep, how dark, how opaque the colour is on the individual shrimp. Now, if we look at this chart, which was kindly produced by theshrimpfarm.com, you'll see that there are several different grades of shrimp we can buy. We can buy cherry shrimp, which are basically shrimp with a bit of red. We can buy Sakura grade shrimp, both low and high, fire red grade, painted fire grade, and you also get Bloody Mary shrimp, which again are deeper, darker, brighter reds. They're really, the red coloration is really intense. All of these colours have been produced thanks to selective breeding. The breeders have taken their deepest coloured shrimp, their absolute best shrimp, moved them into a separate tank, and bred them until they produce good quality shrimp. And then they've taken the best of those shrimp, moved them to a separate tank. And again, the process continues until you end up with some really deep, dark, colourful shrimp. It's a process that takes a lot of effort and a lot of dedication, but really has helped mould the hobby into what it is today. So how do we go about selectively breeding shrimp if that's what we want to do? Well, first of all, you're obviously going to need some shrimp. And here, in this tank here, I've got a good selection. In a minute or two, I'm going to go through the actual process of choosing which shrimp we're going to breed. But essentially, you have two choices. You've got your tank of shrimp. There's two things you can do. You can choose your best shrimp and remove them from your main colony and grow them in their own colony. Or alternatively, you can look at your existing colony of shrimp and you can remove any of the shrimp that don't match the traits you're searching for. So if you're trying to breed a real deep, dark red shrimp, any that don't make that grade, you remove from your colony. They're often referred to as your culls, but we'll come back to that in a moment. You remove them from your colony and put them in a separate tank, meaning now your prime colony that you're trying to selectively breed are left in the tank. Now, whichever method you choose, there's one really important point you have to remember. Generally speaking, female red cherry shrimp boast more colour than males. What you have to be careful of is that you don't pick out 20 or 30 of your deepest, brightest, reddest shrimp and you only take out 20 or 30 females. You have to get some males in there, even if the colour of the males is not as bright as the females. Needless to say, if you put yourself together a colony of just 30 female shrimp, assuming none of those shrimp are buried already, that colony is not going to increase in size over time. So whilst I would always recommend taking out your deepest, darkest, reddest females, you do have to get some males too, even if they haven't got nearly as much colour as you're after. Now, when you're selectively breeding, you do have to remove any shrimp from the colony that don't boast the traits you're after. So if we're trying to produce a real deep, dark red shrimp, at some point during the process, you're going to have to remove shrimp that don't match that criteria. The only way you can improve the bright red colour of the colony you've got is by taking out any that don't boast the colour you're after. Now, these shrimp we removed are often called your culls, or be referred to as culling of the shrimp. And culling has a bad reputation because often people think of culling as killing. But to cull your shrimp, you don't have to kill them. It simply means removing them from your breeding colony and putting them somewhere else. Now, it might be that you feed them to a fish or a turtle or something else in your collection. Equally, you might just keep a tank of culls, all the shrimp that don't match the grade you're after, but are still good, happy, healthy shrimp. That's absolutely fine. Culling doesn't have to mean killing. So what I've done with these shrimp here is I've just dropped a lump of rapashi in about 10 or 15 minutes ago to draw the majority of the shrimp to the front. So now I'm going to move the camera, reset it up closer, and we can go through and pick out about 20 shrimp that have the dark colour I'm after, and we'll put them in this breeding tank here that I set up the other week. Okay, so now I've moved the camera closer so we can actually see the colony, but of course I've got some terrible glare going on. So what I'm going to try and do is now pick out 15 or 20 shrimp that got the deep dark coloration that I'm looking for, and they're going to form the basis of my new selectively bred colony. So let's have a look. And this really is just a case of carefully looking at all of the shrimp and trying to find the ones that have the colour I'm after, and then somehow separate them from the main colony without sending them all flying. Now here I really am going for as much red colour as I can. The deeper the coloration, the better. So that one there, let's just see if we can get this one here, look. Loving the colour on that one. It's a little, oh, we've got a little male in there, so that's fine. There we go. Oh, just look at that. Oh, lost the male. That's fine. So that's 3 so far. I think 20 is the basis of a good colony. Oh, this one here I love. Look at the dark colour on. You can't quite see it on the screen. That's a shame. That one just caught one there off a leaf. Unfortunately, that one wasn't in the camera shot, which is typical. Okay, what else have we got? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. There's another one up here on the moss. Again, fabulous colour, this one. Let's put this one in. Now, selectively breeding doesn't have to just mean dark colour. You might selectively breed some that have the stripe down the back, or you might selectively breed for stripes, depending on the shrimp you're looking at. It doesn't have to just be for solid colour. You can essentially selectively breed for any trait that you have in your colony. Oh, there we go. There's another one again. That's unfortunately not in the camera shot, but okay. So I'm going to carry on doing this now. I'm going to pick out another 10 or 15 to give me a total of 20. And after that, we'll put them in the new tank. So there we have it. I've selected out about 20 shrimp that I think are showing the best coloration in my colony. It's mainly females. I've got a few males in there as well. You have to have both in order for the colony to grow. Now I'm going to add them to this little 7-gallon tank here. And over the next few weeks and months, we can watch this colony grow. Any babies that they produce that don't match the grade, that aren't the colour I'm after, well, I'll take those out and put them back in here. That's exactly what culling is. This will be my colony of intensely red coloured cherry shrimp, and this will be my regular colony of red cherry shrimp. That is what selective breeding is. I'm selectively breeding the traits that these shrimp offer. Let's let them get in the tank, shall we? And look, one cheeky little ram swan snail that made it as well. So that's it. The shrimp I've selected to be my new breeding colony are in their new tank. In fact, this is a tank I recently set up specifically for the purpose of breeding shrimp for profit. And if you haven't yet seen that video, I'll link to it just here. Thanks for watching.